Hello everyone, welcome to LearnPy. Okay, so today we'll be learning variables and then naming rules, some naming rules for variables. So what are variables? So these are names placed in the memory where a programmer defines and can store and retrieve data using defined names or name. So let's try something, yes. So in this cell, there's a variable, we are going to type a variable, so k equals 1. Okay. So print k. Okay. So we stored the value 1 inside the memory k. Okay. So k is a memory stored in our device memory, and then we retrieve the value of k. Okay, so variables can be changed. Okay, so let's change the value of k. Okay, so you can change the value of your variable. So k equals 3, and then let's print k. Just there's an error, I think, because of the space in here. So let's work it out. So k equals 3. K is assigned. Okay, so not equals, it's rather assigned. So k is assigned the value of 3, and then we're going to print 3. We're going to print what is stored in k. So we've changed the value of k to 3. Okay, so you can change the values of your variables. And then Python is case sensitive. Okay, so let's say I'm going to change the k here, the small k, to capital K. So I'm going to make it caps, or let's say a house. Okay, and then I input a small house, or okay, let's input the. Okay, so let's print it out. It should give us run 1. Okay, now let's try making a small case here. Okay, so in the print I'm going to make it small case. Then let's print it out and see what comes. 50. So it's giving us 50. Okay, giving us 50. Let's change it to something, to key. Then I'm changing it to capital key, the key here. Okay, so you see we have an error. So name key is not defined. Okay, why isn't it defined? It's because, so in line 3, okay, that's a print key. We used a caps for the key, and then in line 2 we use a small key for the key. Okay, so Python is case sensitive, and then let me change it into caps. You can see we have the value that was assigned to key. Okay, so remember to be conscious about your case or your variables when naming them. Okay, so when you use an uppercase, you use the same uppercase for the naming, and then when you use a smaller case, you use a smaller case for the name, okay, of your variables. Okay, so let's try something here. Good names. So good names or mnemonic names are a good way to name your variables. Okay, so hello. So a variable name can start with an underscore. So underscore hello. Or when you want to use two names, okay, so first underscore name. Okay, so first underscore name. Okay, so let's say first name. You can join the two names together. It might sound differently. Okay, so in order to make it well readable, you just use an underscore. Okay, so you can use last. You can use a word, and then at the end you add a number. The bad name could be something like this. So starting with a number and then a word. So you can see it's highlighted green. Excuse me. So using a period sign is also wrong for naming your variables. Okay. So remember, the pound sign is used for commenting out things, so don't use it in naming your variables. So a good practice is to use mnemonic naming. So mnemonic naming is a name that makes sense for its purpose. Okay, so let's say price. Okay, so when you're talking about something like a bank, okay, a bank info, so you can be dealing with let's say price. Price. You don't have to use abstract naming. This will help you in the long run. Okay, so money equals, and then you give in the value for the money. Okay, so you can say a plus let's say ABC equals 600. Who, when someone's reading your code, he wouldn't understand what you're trying to mean. Okay, so if you use money, the person will know that, oh, yeah, this was referring to money. So let's say price costs 700, so meaning we are talking about price. Okay, so mnemonic naming are good ways of naming your variables. And then let's say speed. So you want to do something with speed. Yeah, so speed. And then you don't use XYZ, and then you know. So use mnemonic names that make sense for its purpose. Okay, so thank you. See you next tutorial.